As men go through life, they often encounter hard-to-swallow truths about relationships with women. Truths that, had they known earlier, might have saved them a lot of frustration and confusion. Some of these truths are only learned through experience, but understanding them in advance can make a world of difference in your relationships. Whether you're single, dating, or married, recognizing these insights is crucial for building healthier, stronger connections. Stoic philosophy has much to offer when it comes to understanding relationships. It teaches us to observe, to remain calm, and to approach life with wisdom and self-mastery. Stoicism can help men navigate complex relationships by encouraging them to focus on what they can control: their own thoughts, actions, and responses. Applying Stoic principles can prevent you from making common mistakes and help you cultivate a deeper connection with the women in your life. In this video, we'll explore 5 shocking truths that men often learn too late about women. These truths aren't just about relationships. They're about understanding female psychology, communication, and expectations. So, let's dive in. And if you find these insights helpful, remember to like and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom on life, love, and self-improvement. Number 1. Women test your emotional strength constantly. One of the most surprising truths that men often learn too late is that women consistently test your emotional strength. These tests are usually subtle, and most men fail to recognize them for what they are. Women are instinctively drawn to men who exhibit emotional resilience and stability. It's not about passing or failing a test, but about demonstrating the type of strength that shows you can handle both life and the relationship without falling apart under pressure. In Stoicism, the idea of emotional control is paramount. Stoics emphasize the importance of maintaining composure regardless of external events. This principle applies perfectly when navigating relationships. A Stoic man doesn't react impulsively to emotional challenges or provocations. Instead, he remains calm, grounded, and focused on what he can control: his reactions. Women are drawn to this type of strength because it makes them feel secure. It shows that you won't crack under pressure and that you can be a reliable partner. One way these tests might manifest is through emotional provocations. A woman might bring up a sensitive topic or challenge you in a moment of vulnerability. She's not doing this to hurt you, but to gauge how you handle adversity. If you respond with anger, insecurity, or defensiveness, it sends the message that you're not emotionally stable. However, if you respond calmly and thoughtfully, you demonstrate emotional resilience, which builds trust and respect. The Stoic approach to such tests is to remain mindful of your emotions and focus on maintaining control over your reactions. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. In time, this emotional stability becomes a core strength that women admire and respect. Men who learn this truth too late often find themselves caught in cycles of frustration, reacting impulsively to emotional challenges instead of maintaining composure. But by applying Stoic principles and practicing emotional control, you can pass these tests effortlessly, gaining respect and admiration from the women in your life. Number 2, women value vulnerability, but only when it's genuine. Another truth men often realize too late is that women value vulnerability, but only when it's genuine. Society often portrays men as needing to be tough, stoic in the sense of being emotionally closed off. However, women are actually drawn to a man's ability to express vulnerability when it comes from a place of strength and authenticity, not weakness. The key is knowing when and how to show vulnerability in a way that strengthens, rather than undermines, the relationship. In Stoicism, vulnerability is not about being emotionally distant, but about having the courage to face life's challenges with openness. When a man expresses his true feelings in a way that is honest but controlled, it demonstrates emotional maturity. Women appreciate this because it shows that you are confident enough to reveal your inner self without being consumed by fear or insecurity. Genuine vulnerability allows for deeper connection, trust, and intimacy. That said, vulnerability should not be confused with constant emotional dumping or seeking reassurance. If a man is constantly seeking validation or exposing his weaknesses in a way that suggests a lack of control, it can lead to a loss of respect. Stoicism teaches that while it's important to share your emotions, it's equally important to remain in control of them. You're not looking for others to fix your problems. You're simply acknowledging them as part of your human experience. For example, opening up to your partner about a difficult time in your life can create an emotional bond, but only if it's done in the context of seeking understanding rather than validation. Women want to know that their partner can handle life's ups and downs without collapsing under the pressure. Showing vulnerability in a way that says, "I'm dealing with this, but I'll get through it," is much more attractive than, "I need you to fix this for me." Men often struggle with this balance, either becoming too emotionally closed off or too open in a way that appears weak. The Stoic man, however, finds a middle ground. He acknowledges his vulnerabilities but remains composed and focused on his path. This form of vulnerability garners respect because it is rooted in strength, not neediness. Women value a man who is in touch with his emotions but doesn't let them control him. The lesson here is that being vulnerable is not about showing weakness, but about showing authenticity in a controlled and thoughtful way. Men who understand this truth too late may find themselves misunderstood or emotionally disconnected from their partners. But those who embrace it early on will build stronger, deeper relationships that thrive on mutual respect and understanding. Number 3, women communicate indirectly. You need to read between the lines. One surprising truth many men discover too late is that women often communicate indirectly. While men tend to be more direct in expressing their wants and needs, women frequently use subtle cues and expect their partner to understand or interpret these messages. This form of communication is not meant to confuse, but rather to encourage emotional awareness and deeper understanding. If you're only listening to the words spoken, you might miss the underlying message. In Stoicism, we learn the importance of observation, paying close attention to the world around us and noticing the details that others might overlook. This principle applies perfectly to understanding how women communicate. You have to be mindful, present, and willing to interpret not just what is said, but how it's said. For example, if a woman says she's fine after a disagreement, her tone and body language might suggest otherwise. Stoic mindfulness encourages you to recognize these nonverbal cues and respond with understanding, rather than taking words at face value. Many men don't realize that indirect communication often stems from a woman's desire for emotional connection. She may not want to be explicit about her needs because she's testing whether you're attentive enough to notice what's really going on. The mistake many men make is ignoring these subtle signals, thinking that if something's important, their partner will just say it. However, being oblivious to these signs can lead to frustration and distance in the relationship. To navigate this, you can apply Stoic principles like patience and empathy. Rather than becoming frustrated with indirect communication, embrace it as an opportunity to connect on a deeper emotional level. Observe her body language, listen to her tone, and pay attention to changes in behavior. It's not about mind reading, but about being attentive and responsive. Over time, men who cultivate this skill through Stoic mindfulness find their relationships growing stronger, because they're better at understanding their partner's emotional landscape. Women appreciate a man who can read between the lines because it shows that he's invested, caring, and in tune with her emotional needs. So, the next time your partner says something subtle, don't dismiss it. See it as an invitation to connect more deeply. Number 4, women want leadership, not dominance. Another truth men often come to realize too late is that women appreciate leadership in a man, but not dominance. There's a significant difference between being a leader and trying to dominate a relationship. Leadership involves guidance, support, and taking initiative, whereas dominance is about control, force, and imposing your will on others. The key distinction is that true leadership empowers both partners, while dominance seeks to diminish. Stoic philosophy teaches that leadership starts with self-mastery. A Stoic man leads by example, through his actions, his calm demeanor, and his ability to stay centered in difficult situations. He doesn't need to raise his voice or control his partner to feel secure. Instead, he provides steady guidance and fosters mutual respect. Women are drawn to this type of leadership because it demonstrates strength without the need for aggression. For instance, in challenging moments where a decision needs to be made, a Stoic leader will listen to his partner's input, consider her feelings, and calmly make a decision that benefits both parties. This contrasts with a dominant man, who might disregard his partner's perspective in an attempt to assert control. Dominance often leads to resentment because it overlooks the value of equality in a relationship. Women want to feel like they are in a partnership, not a dictatorship. A man who can take charge when necessary, but also respect and uplift his partner's opinions, is much more desirable than someone who constantly tries to impose his will. Stoicism emphasizes humility, and part of being a good leader in a relationship is recognizing when to step back and allow your partner to lead as well. Men who try to dominate women often do so out of insecurity, fearing that they will lose control if they don't exert power. However, Stoicism teaches us that true strength comes from within, not from controlling others. Women want a man who leads with confidence, not with fear. Leadership, in this sense, is about creating a harmonious and balanced dynamic where both partners feel valued and respected. By learning this truth early and practicing Stoic self-discipline, you can become the kind of leader that women admire and respect, someone who guides without overpowering and who supports without controlling. This is a lesson many men learn too late, but one that can transform relationships when understood in time. Number 5, women respect consistency over flashiness. One of the most shocking truths men often learn too late is that women value consistency far more than flashiness. Society often portrays women as being attracted to men who live extravagant lifestyles, have flashy cars, or are constantly seeking excitement. However, what women truly respect in a partner is reliability and stability over the long term. Flashy gestures might impress momentarily, but it's consistency that builds lasting trust and affection. Stoicism teaches us the importance of being steady and dependable. While flashy actions might grab attention, they often lack substance. Women value a man who consistently shows up, follows through on his commitments, and remains steady in both good times and bad. This doesn't mean you can't be spontaneous or adventurous, but it does mean that over time, it's your reliability that will earn respect and love. For example, a man who consistently makes time for his partner, keeps his word, and shows emotional stability is far more attractive than someone who only occasionally showers her with expensive gifts or grand gestures. The flashy guy may win admiration for a night, but the consistent man wins trust for a lifetime. Consistency, in this sense, is about being reliable in your actions, your emotions, and your commitments. Women often test for consistency, even subconsciously. They want to see if you're the same person in various situations. During stress, joy, and hardship, flashiness might fade when the initial excitement wears off, but consistency builds a foundation of trust that lasts. Stoic men excel in this because they are grounded in their principles and actions. They don't let external circumstances sway their character, and this steadiness is deeply respected by women. Consistency also applies to emotional availability. A man who is emotionally consistent, who can be counted on to respond with kindness, understanding, and stability, is far more attractive than someone whose emotions are unpredictable. Stoicism helps cultivate this emotional consistency by teaching men to control their reactions, not to be overly influenced by external events, and to remain calm in adversity. In conclusion, while society may celebrate flashy, larger-than-life characters, women respect the quiet strength of consistency. If you can be the man who shows up every day with the same level of care, integrity, and emotional stability, you'll earn the kind of respect and love that lasts. This is a truth many men overlook, but it's one of the most important lessons you can learn early on. These 5 shocking truths are lessons that many men come to realize too late, but by applying the principles of Stoicism, you can navigate relationships with greater wisdom and clarity. Whether it's understanding emotional tests, learning the value of genuine vulnerability, reading between the lines of indirect communication, providing leadership without dominance, or being consistent over flashy, these insights can transform how you approach relationships with women. By embracing these truths, you can build deeper connections, foster mutual respect, and create lasting, meaningful relationships. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our emotions, and our reactions. Apply these principles to your relationships, and you'll find that the wisdom of the Stoics can lead to more fulfilling and harmonious connections with the women in your life. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below.